Level 4 of the nationwide lockdown has come into effect. It eases some of the regulations around economic activity and the movement of people. It's also compulsory for everyone to wear masks when they go out in public. One of the restrictions that has been eased allows for people to run, jog or cycle in a 5-kilometer radius from their homes. But you can only do that from 6 to 9 in the morning. People are still not allowed to exercise in organized groups. Various economic activities such as mining and transportation are slowly being phased in from today. The sale of alcohol and cigarettes remains prohibited. There is also the introduction of a curfew between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. every day. Metro Police in Durban are out in their numbers today as the city joins the country in entering day 1 of level 4 lockdown. The city has emerged out of stage 5 despite concerns over its high number of infections. Our reporter Ayanda Mhlongo is out on the streets in Durban. We cross to her now. Ayanda, around 900 infections in KwaZulu-Natal. Talk to us about what's happening and what kind of law enforcement is taking place.
A very good afternoon to you, Nzinga, and good afternoon to our viewers at home. Well, certainly I must say, Nzinga, that there has indeed been a great deal of concern, particularly for residents here in the eThekwini Metro. As you said, the numbers of the infections here in the province and the eThekwini Metro being the epicenter, recording at least 10 new cases a day. And that brought about some uncertainty. And it was only on Wednesday this week that the provincial government then saying that after much consultation with a number of sectors, mostly business, they had then decided that eThekwini would be downgraded to a level 4. I must say that since this morning we have been moving around in the Durban CBD and other areas in the eThekwini Metro. There has indeed been a heavy police deployment on the ground led by Metro Police here in the CBD. The Metro have been checking on the stores, ensuring that the public are wearing their masks. So police certainly having had their hands full, ensuring that the store owners today who finally reopened, that they are ensuring that the safety measures are kept, but also most importantly that social distancing is adhered to. And without wasting much time, let me now bring in the mayor of the eThekwini municipality, Mr. Mxolisi Kaunda. Mr. Kaunda, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for speaking to us. Certainly we've been moving around this morning, the Metro Police as well as other law enforcement agencies out and about, but you decided or agreed as the eThekwini Metro together with the government that you are going to allow the city to enter into level 4, but you had some concerns because of those high numbers. Can you give us at this point where we are in terms of the infection rate and just your observations? I know you've been out and about this morning as well.
Indeed, we have downgraded to level 4. And our law enforcement agencies are all out to enforce regulations, because level 4 does not imply that people should now start moving out of their houses. The lockdown is still there, and people should adhere to all the lockdown regulations so that we can save lives. It's not about suppressing people's social lives, but it is actually about intervening in a situation which really is beyond our control, but to ensure that we really limit the spread of this virus. But as a city, we have just unveiled our own social relief program, which is integrated, which is composed of many aspects. We are intervening in terms of food parcels, which we have launched today. We have just distributed some at KwaZulu-Natal area. That food parcel is also having some pockets of food that we are really thinking that it will make a difference to those who are in need. It is also costing us 600 per household. But we'll be distributing these food parcels in all 110 wards of eThekwini. Each ward will be allocated 1,000 parcels. In areas where there is proximity to wholesalers and supermarkets, we'll be issuing vouchers so that we limit the logistics in terms of delivering food parcels to all households. But we are going to be ensuring that we do not bring people together. We adhere to the regulations. Those that will be recipients will go to their household as we did today to distribute. But part of the interventions is also to ensure uninterrupted basic services to our citizens of eThekwini. That includes supply of water, electricity, and the refuse collection. So those services are maintained. But to those who will be finding it difficult during this period of lockdown because they've lost income, those citizens will come forward to us because we are not going to be putting interest on their bills. But part of what we are actually doing is to ensure that we don't disconnect people, even if you owe us. During this lockdown period, we continue to reconnect those who were disconnected before. So those are kind of interventions that the city is really making. But we are also cleaning our hostels, all our rental stock houses, including the areas of informal settlements where people need some soap and sanitizers. We're actually supplying all that throughout the city. So we'll be working together with all stakeholders. We also wish to commend those who have come forward to contribute in terms of food hampers to assist those communities who are in need. But there will be no opportunity for those who like to manipulate this program. All councillors, after the lockdown has been uplifted, they will be required to convene public meetings to account to members of the public. How did you choose that 1,000 list that you produce? That is part of the control measures that will assist us to ascertain that we do not politicize this program, and all parties were briefed yesterday by the mayor and the speaker what is expected of them in this program.
Mr. Mayor, okay, just coming back, and I know these obviously this is quite important, the plans and the programs that you have to assist the people here in the Durban Metro. But coming back now, I know you've also been liaising with business. So you now have come up with your own plan, a relief plan. But let's firstly start off in terms of the safety. I know you've also had meetings with the business sector in terms of today, their preparedness as more stores open, that their safety measures are adhered to. Any issues that you've possibly picked up this morning, and what is it that you've insisted that businesses must ensure today in terms of safety measures so that the public is safe?
All businesses are expected to take precautionary measures so that we reduce the spread of this virus. We were impressed yesterday when we visited one of the shops at Ispingo that they had their own tunnel sanitizer machine. So you just get there, all those who want to buy food from their store, they go through that tunnel. So they get sanitized, even the clothing and everything. So we are making a call to all businesses just to stick on that. We rather invest money in order to save lives than spend money in order to cure people who have been infected. So prevention is better than cure. So that's what we should be sticking on.
And I see that obviously Metro Police as well and other law enforcement agencies have been out ensuring that the mask, everybody is wearing masks. I don't know if you've received yet a report from the law enforcement agencies in terms of compliance this morning. What is the city looking like?
Yeah, our people are responding positive. There may be some pockets of areas where people still just disregard the regulations, but most of people, even where we went at KwaZulu-Natal, we have seen people locking themselves into houses and behaving, knowing that it is a collective responsibility to fight this scourge. So we are encouraging people not to put more pressure to law enforcement agencies. The first police officer is your conscience. So say that I want to make a contribution in my country to prevent and fight this virus. So by so doing, your action, your deed will actually be making a positive contribution moving forward. Because all what we want to see, because we'll be approaching August where there will be a peak of this spread of this virus. So therefore we should be combat ready, all of us. So we should start now. That's why even government has also unlocked some of the economic sectors so that people can go and buy warm stuff to prevent any infections that may occur during this season. So therefore we'll be working with law enforcement agencies, but during the course of this weekend, starting from yesterday and today and during the whole weekend, we'll be making sure that we conduct law enforcement so that whoever who's on the road, even if you have a permit, you will be stopped and you'll be screened so that we ascertain that even that permit is not a manipulated one, it's the one that is envisaged to be possessed by your good self.
Mr. Mayor, it's just speaking of screening, and I know you've ramped up screening and testing here in the Metro, of course, due to the high numbers. This week, launching, you received 10 testing vehicles that were part of a private sponsorship. Just speak to us on that. We understand now that you've increased the number of your capacity of being able to test, screen and test people here in the city.
Yes, we do have a number of people who are intervening, like GHI, with Nedbank and SPA. They've contributed those 10 vehicles in the province to intensify the screening and testing program. But we are also receiving intervention from also Holland, who will be bringing big containers which can be utilized as facilities for screening, because most of the people there, they do not find comfort when you get to their houses. They prefer that they rather go to a particular center to be screened and be tested. So all that, we receive that with warm hands. Toyota will also next week will be working with them, because they also want to contribute in the public sector, transport sector, because they want to make a contribution in relation to disinfecting public taxi ranks and the toilets around the facilities, and contribute sanitizers and many other stuff. So all companies, all institutions, civil organizations, NGOs, they are more than welcome to come and make that contribution. We'll work together with them, because this situation requires a collective effort that make us the soldiers who are combat ready to defeat the scourge.
Certainly, it seems that all hands on deck. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. The Mayor of the eThekwini Metro, Mr. Mhlongo, and of course, just taking us through his plans in the city on how to assist many of the vulnerable communities and those that are in need of food parcels, but also speaking to law enforcement agencies which have been stepped up here in the CBD to ensure that there is compliance. You know, of course, that they are still monitoring, the government of KwaZulu-Natal is still monitoring the city very closely because of the high infection rate. And certainly we've seen that law enforcement has been busy since this morning, business by business, in ensuring that the public is complying with the lockdown regulations. I'm going to leave it here for now, Nzinga, and back to you in studio.
Mhlongo coming to us live from KwaZulu-Natal there.